control that camouflage and really make individual plays throughout the game, they do have a chance at taking this one. But as we said before, Infused, 4 of the best Slayers, is going to be a tough one.
Quick shout out to everybody watching out there. Thank you so much for joining us on Twitch. You can be watching on Facebook and Mixer. Also, it's a pleasure to have you with us for the final day of the summer season. Big shout out to Team Beyond, Reddit, and NeoGaf. All the communities out there that are supporting not only Halo as a whole, but just the eSports society. Honestly, man, it's a pleasure to do what we do, and when the community tunes in, some of the tweets that we get, it's fantastic, and we just hope that you guys have a good time. Let's end this season out with a bang, Harry. Quadius will fall. Chick down does take him. And all of a sudden, the railgun, well, it's going to transfer hands.
Yeah, it's a good kill to get there for Chick as well. We said before, taking the power weapons into their own hands is very important, and it's actually 2D that are going to be scoring first. Not quite sure if he notices Snaky up there on that ledge. He does sense it, but can't quite find the shot off. But it was a big kill to take down Quad, but Chick in the end will go down himself, and now the railgun is going to go back into the hands of Quad, and Kimbo still with this scatter shot in his possession as well. He's only using his pistol right now, but if any of the 2D players come close, they're going to get a nasty surprise from this man. And there we go. Sicka will go down, and they surely will be having total control any moment now.
That's Snaky going one-on-one, almost takes down 2, but his teammate's there. And you mentioned, Harry, about having a very nasty surprise. Kimbo whips out the scatter shot, and there is an easy double. But I love this from Infused, how they just run in pairs. How many times do we switch to a red team member? And we keep saying red team because they're always red. These guys have got the highest seed, and they seem to be keeping a hold of it, and that's only going to continue onwards for today and the rest of the summer season and the entire season, excuse me, the entire series that we're actually watching now on your screens. 16-4 then. The roller coaster has unfortunately started. The roller coaster of doom here for Divine Domination. Time's going to keep ticking on. 10-10 remaining on the clocks. Nurix will challenge Snaky. Nice way to back off, though. Needs to be careful of these players running through underpass. He does have some support. One up on the walkway, just next to him on his right-hand side. And then you've got Kimbo jumping in for the railgun. Like the fact he's going to hang back, and look at the rotation. Just calls out for his teammate, runs away, stays alive. And all of a sudden, they're still ticking that time, Harry.
Yeah, you said running in pairs, and that's something that Infused always seem to do so very well. I really like the kind of tiny decisions that Snaky made in that particular passage of play. One, when he was up on that kind of sneaky ledge, he could have gone for the back smack, which would have been a guaranteed kill, but instead he decided to shoot the player. I particularly am a fan of that kind of play because although he didn't get the kill right away, and it might not have been guaranteed, he still made speed drop down from that nest bridge. And if you're not up on the nest bridge, so hard for you to clamber back up because you're always wondering about whether there's going to be a nade waiting for you when you clamber back up. And then after that, to back down and stay alive, even though he didn't sense the pressure from Engine 1, was very impressive that he was able to stay alive and just kind of stall a little bit until his teammate was able to help him out. And he's playing his life so well. As a result of him staying alive throughout all of that, he has the camouflage. But I want to talk about Respectful. Top 1 KD in the league with both power weapons on the map in his possession at the moment.
Gonna have to watch the EU HCS stream while I queue to get into this gig. That is from Mrs. Kami.
Shout out to Kami. She's seeing Paramore tonight.
She came here for the fall season finals, I want to say.
Indeed.
Yes, indeed.
And also was at Wembley for the Worlds qualifiers as well.
She was. It's good to see the community. It really is, especially when you see like the repeat people that, you know, obviously take care of European Halo and watch it and tune in and come to these events and such and things like that. It's always good to see them tuning in. So shout out to everybody who enjoys being a part of the Halo community. Mainly the eSports one as well, as this is generally what you're watching on screen.
Yeah, very slow game so far, honestly, and something that 2D have been doing very well is not falling into the trap of Infused. We've seen time and time again from Infused on Stronghold's game types. I said before, they haven't dropped a Stronghold game type in the league. 7-0 their record on this particular game type. Is very impressive. They haven't succumbed to the total control, the stranglehold of Infused. They haven't been getting slayed in waves. They've been doing very well staying alive when they've needed to, and you can see they kind of have an idea of how they want to push in numbers together right there. But when you've got this man just putting slays down, it's so hard for them to do that. And right now they're trapped in the BR base, and Infused, they really should be going for the jugular when Respectful's picking up these kills. Otherwise, these are just kind of pointless statistics here for Respectful. Because look, they're already putting pressure on the nest. If they don't go for BR base right here, they honestly could surrender control to 2D.
Oh, it's not pointless for him. He loves being at top of charts. Honestly, I still think he's playing in the Fantasy League. Boy is a beast. 65 points to 16. Finally, power weapon control in the hands of 2D. We'll see Seeker just running around. Catches Kimbo, knows where he is down there underneath the nest. Unfortunately, though, he's got to... Oh, nice. At least he'll get Quadius out of there. Now they need to deal with Respectful. Chick's there for some support, comes in with the scatter shot. Unfortunately, I mean, it's all good saying this and getting the kills, but they're still down 2 plots.
Yeah, the slaying coming in there to save Infused's bacon. I said if they'd gone a bit quicker on the BR base, they wouldn't have surrendered control. They didn't surrender control in the end, thanks to fantastic plays from Kimbo staying alive and also Snakey making stands on that nest while there were 2D players pushing for them. And now they're kind of lulling 2D into a false sense of security. Look at the score, 80-16. They snuck around the backside and took BR base. Now they really do 2D need to make sure they grab this nest. It's going to be a big fight from E2 towards the nest. Kimbo will get 1. Can he get 2? He can't quite get it. So we'll actually get the double and the killing spree in the end, thanks to the barrel. But I think, honestly, the damage is done in this game. 91-16. I don't see 2D coming back in this one.
Yeah, this is... a little rough, man, and we kind of did say this may be the way it goes, and there's obviously no disrespect to any of the players on 2D, but with the utmost respect to the players on Infused, because they are an absolute beast of a squad right now. For European Halo standards, potentially best in the business. Obviously, you mentioned yesterday, Harry, we do need to see if they are land-proven when they get to Atlanta and see how they do, because Invictus still, we kind of mentioned it, they definitely want to have another crack at Infused. It didn't go the best of ways last time these two teams matched up, and certainly I think we mentioned it. It would be nice to see those two go at it again, and, well, you've got to wait for Atlanta now. That's going to be the telltale sign of those two European teams, how they do over in NA. Take a quick look at the kill feed, Harry.
Snakey died once that whole game. We said Snakey playing his life. He got rewarded with camouflages every now and then. He died once. He went 15-1 with 12 assists, second most on his team and in the game. I want to check out his damage dealt. It's actually most in the game, if I'm not mistaken, if my eyesight doesn't deceive me, which it does not.
Take that, Brandon.
So Snakey, we talk about Brandon's stats, Respectful. Is Snakey stealing the show this time round? 15-1. I think Respectful's probably got something to say about that. Watch out 2D in this next game, because Respectful's going to be coming for you.
Yeah, trying to pick up those stats and really pad his way to the top on the kill feed. But business, I mean, how else do you break it down? It's kind of business as usual, is it not?
Yes, it is. 2D actually did better than I expected, honestly. The scoreline is kind of harsh on them. I mean, when we saw some of the ratios there, obviously they got outslayed heavily. That's to be expected when you're going up against a team like Infused, but I was expecting Infused to get a wave of slays and then get total control and then just slay and slay and slay and slay, and then the game would be over.
Kind of happened at the end.
Did happen towards the end, but 2D actually did very well taking strongholds away from Infused even when they were at a slaying deficit. So signs of life from 2D, but Infused, again, their class is coming through in game number 1. And Slayer Coliseum's up next. If they don't watch their P's and Q's, and by P's I mean snipers, and by Q's I mean rocket launchers, they could be in for a bad time.
It works.
Don't read into it.
No, I was trying to, but it worked. I'll go with that.
I styled it out, I think.
Could you not say S and R's?
It's not as catchy, though.
Not catchy in here.
Watch the S and R. Don't mention his name.
He's not in Pro League.
With the C.
He's too bad.
Not with the Q. Agreed. Coliseum Slayer came to rockets and snipe on this one. Watch out for Infused controlling those. 2D, if they want back in this series, they're only 1 down at the moment. But they need to keep a hang of these power weapons, right? We see the sniper on screen. If you let a player like Kimbo, we've seen him go for literally 360 no-scopes to end games before. And with the rockets as well, Snakey is a player I actually want to start with on this one. He's very good at getting the rockets at the start of this particular map. So they really need to make sure they keep a hang on these power weapons, and Snakey's actually been body blocked. That could actually work out very well in 2D's favor if they want to try and grab these rockets off the start. If Seeker was maybe a little bit less hesitant right there, obviously not knowing that Snakey got body blocked off the start, he could potentially steal these rockets away. But look at this, so much patience. The zoning with the grenade to push that player back. They did get a fortunate elbow spawn, so Snakey can't grab these straight away without a little bit of help from his team. But look at these shots, so much confidence, and there we go. This is what I'm talking about. Such methodical and patient play. Infused up 6-1, and Snakey, it seems like every single Coliseum map, he's grabbing these rockets off of the start of the map. So helpful for Infused.
I think the one thing you kind of need to call out there is how Quad just flanked in. He knew, that the call out came in, he knew where they were spawning, comes in, through the base, out the roll 2, and just down into elbow. Drills them, down they go. I mean, it speaks volumes for Infuse's teamwork and coordination, knowing where the players are going to be as soon as they spawn. Snakey unfortunately gets caught by the radar. One guy camping down in grass. He is gone. He's dead. One player will run across to the other side, which is going to be on the elbow, but his teammates will be spawning in there. So fair play, nice rotation. But now he's splitting off from them. He's kind of on his own. Infused know that there'll be nobody inside red, and they can all just push in. 2 people are down in cave. Got to be careful. So if they get a little bit too cautious and stick together, it could be easy triples for this team.
Yeah, count the kills with these rockets, because Infused, when they go over to North America, when they face against these high-level sides, they need to make sure they're getting 4 for 4. They're 2 out of 4 so far.
They're all still triggered
2 rockets.
Yesterday,
I'm just saying, if Europe really wants to compete on an international stage, they can't make silly mistakes. Look at this patience. I love it. So much better. 3 out of 3 so far. If he makes it 4 in a row, then I have such high hopes for Infused. And this is beautiful to see. That's what I like to see. Just a complete contrast from what we've seen from other teams in Europe. Snakey with the rockets, getting them off the start, getting a killing spree thanks to 4 kills straight. That's really what every team in Europe should be doing when they grab that power weapon. An interesting fight on our screens right there, but again, I just have to applaud the play from Snakey.
Well, you can kind of see on screen what's happening here, guys. We don't want to start doing all this play-by-play and show him what you can see. He's going to go for the combat evolve. Doesn't get it, goes a little bit too far. His teammate's going to come across elbow also. But yeah, it's pretty much rock and roll, 20-7. I don't know what way you can get around Infused. The teamwork's there. I mean, I suppose we could say try and break off individual players, because it's always a 2-man jobby. When you're watching Infused, there's always someone there to back up the other.
What's also very scary about this Infused team is that it was actually 2D. We swapped over to Sika, who grabbed the rockets off of the respawn on that one, and that's 5 for 5 in rockets so far this game, so Infused. Very proficient.
It's still got him. Still got a kill.
Wrong colour though.
Still a kill.
No, it was his teammate.
You're not allowing it?
No, not having that. Okay, we'll chalk it up anyway. We'll chalk it up anyway.
Oh.
He still makes the kills happen. This is just the difference, man. It's just the difference between Infused and these other teams in Europe. Fair enough, they are a team full of slayers, and when you have such strong killing potential on this team, it's a lot easier to move around the map and grab the power weapons. But not only when they grab the power weapons, it's what they do with them. They get so many kills, and look at the scoreline. They're up by 17 in Colosseum Slayer with only 2 cycles of each power weapon so far this game. And this Infused team, man, they're very scary. I'm so looking forward to seeing what they do in America.
Finally, they're going to take down Brandon, so Sniper will go down. Respectful. Very disrespectful to kill him, especially when he's got a sniper rifle in his hand. It's a little bit rough. Speed gets completely stuck, which is... He certainly didn't expect that. I did not as well, so a bit of a lucky one there. One person hiding down in cave. Time to do some damage, though, with this weapon. Tags him up. Finishes the kill. Fantastic stuff. See how many more he can get. That's 1 with this weapon. You kind of mentioned, Harry, how the proficiency needs to come in. You need to use these weapons to the most of their ability, and he's got plenty of bullets to do it.
The 2D, I honestly don't think they're trying in this game, honestly, because Chick just was not responding to any kind of communication, whether there wasn't a call out in the first place, but there was a player right below him that his teammate was contesting. I just don't understand that there from 2D. I mean, Chick really should be helping his teammate out there bottom middle. We could even see him on his own radar, so whether Chick there is focusing on other things or just was not paying attention properly, I'm not really too sure, but yeah, that was a really poor play right there from Sika, and he'll go down again. Excuse me, I believe it was Chick we were on board with. So yeah, 2D at the moment, whether it's their communication that's lacking or whether certain players just, you know, aren't quite up for this game. Chick finally has the sniper back in his possession, so glimmer of hope, but he's been hunted down by Respectful, and this is 42-19.
Yep, I hope you guys can appreciate that. Sometimes it is a little bit hard to cast these games or really get into the swing of it when it's such a whitewash, but in all respect to them, you know, in all respect, like, they're still here. These guys' position won't, even if they won this, it wouldn't make a difference. So credit where credit's due for turning up and still giving it their all.
Listen, I'm having a great time right here. Watching Infused play this kind of game is, I could watch them do it all day, honestly, because they play such good fundamental Halo. Sika will pick himself up a double, but it's way too little too late. Infused are only 4 kills away. At this point, it's damage limitation, and we just ate Sims, but I'm feeling another steak coming our way.
It's looking raw, my friend. It's not looking like it's touched the side. It looks extremely raw. Oh, I'm saying that's getting a little bit more cooked.
Grill's heating up a little bit.
It is a little tight. Ooh, if it hit that, that'd have been absolutely disgusting. Oh, the grill's warm. The grill's hot. 50-25.
Stone cold.
Half of the kills. That's That's brutal.
Yes.
What do you say?
It's just infused class again.
Just infused things.
We said before the show, kind of in our pre-show, that infused. This is one of the most lopsided matchups we've seen in Pro League history, whether it be North America or Europe, and the slaying output again just coming out for infused. There's no real standout performer. We have a +9 from Kimbo, 12 and 5 from Respectful. I mean, just every single player chiming in. We didn't even see any Quardio's point of view, but he had most assists and kind of down there with the deaths as well.
Come on, Quad.
It's not good enough,
Come
man.
on.
17 deaths from Speed. That's a -11 spread, and yeah.
Something I want to really quickly touch on Speed. The guy, we've seen him play Halo. The guy is a beast. We know that, and we know he can play to that high level. In the previous game as well, he had a ton of deaths. Do you think Speed is trying to play his level, what he knows? You know, he's played with some of these top German players. He's been in a top squad. He's been on Fab E. Do you think he's trying to play above Divine and used to on the French kind of pace?
I mean, I really wonder what kind of state their communication is in. Because, I mean, we saw halfway through that game, exactly, there could be a bit of a language barrier right there, because we saw at points in that game it almost felt like there was no communication. It almost felt like we were watching a team in Arena trying to play up against Team Infused. It was tough to watch at parts. So I do kind of wonder if there is, you know, some kind of a language breakdown right there.
You trying to join Red Team?
Well, do you see allow observers? What does it say next to it? Just sorry, read that out for me.
Oh,
No, read out.
that says no.
It says no, doesn't it? And what does that mean?
You're not allowed on it.
Not allowed on the team, am I?
No.
Until the players allow it.
Come on, players, sort it out.
Don't blame me, I'm a professional. I might have said some choice things this season and had a few bits of banter with my colleague.
Allowed it now.
Yeah, look, what team am I on? Observer. I might have, you know, been a little bit...
Hates it when you call him out on his observing skills.
A little bit, you know,
really
unbuttoned a little bit this season, but I am a professional, whether you like it or not. And that's why I'm here, and you're sat at home. I mean, you're...
Wow. Wow.
Just kidding. I love you, Twitch chat. You're the best.
Unsub to him.
You know, there are people genuinely...
Feel free to unsub to him.
There's
He's a
people...
terrible streamer.
Don't listen to him. I'm a great
Terrible
streamer. But you know, there's people genuinely in the Twitch chat. Wonder Thighs.
Wow. Look at
you know,
that.
there's genuinely people in the Twitch chat that think...
Sleeping leg day, fam.
Are you... Come on, let me finish. There's people that think we hate each other.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that.
Come on.
They're right.
We've been Bezos for...
I
Wait,
do hate you.
Oh, really?
When did we start casting together?
Since the dawn of time. 2013, I think. Time did not start.
You were still playing at the time.
I was still competing. A little country bumpkin on my 0.3 upload.
Hey.
Teleporting around Halo 4. Those were the days.
All right, then let's get back into this one then. If you are just joining us, welcome along. This is the final day of the European HCS Pro League. It's Team Infused taking on Divine Domination. Infused just showing why they are the #1 team in Europe right now. 2-0 is the current scoreline. We're on Fathom CTF, Harry.
Yeah, Fathom captured the flag. We've only seen this, what, 3 times? I mean, yesterday, and technically week number 4, day 1, was one of the first times we've seen Fathom this season, which means we haven't really got to speak about the changes on this map this season. Sika picking up a double here for 2D will help them out in terms of slays.
Sorry to interrupt a second, but obviously the saving grace could be this is the map that Team Infused dropped yesterday.
This is one of the few CTF maps they've actually dropped. They are 4-2 in the league, but 2D have not won a single capture the flag game. They haven't won a map at all in the Pro League. But this is one of those game types where now that the automatics and radar have changed, there's a lot more potential for kind of very flanky plays. And you can see that right here with Chick, I do believe. No, in fact, it's going to be Speed, who actually stopped the flag but started teabagging instead of going for the return. And that's actually gonna cost his team a capture. But Speed was able to flank around the back end of Infused right there. And those are the kind of plays that you can make now the radar's out of the game. And the meta are very much still the same, kind of run it as fast as you can, either through the pit or through big door or through bottom middle or even through the silo sometimes. But, you know, there's still room for individual plays now, you know, it's something we didn't really see with the old settings. You can flank around the end, you can kind of get around behind the enemy team and make individual stops without really being known. If the enemy team don't track you off of your respawn, then you can really make individual plays here on Fathom. So look for 2D to try and do that, to break the intense possession of top middle here for Team Infused. But Respectful started off with a killing spree, and Speed
I think
will
Speed's giving in.
go down.
Which is slightly annoying. Oh, over. Potential. Potential. Choke. Respect. Come on, man. Yeah, I think these guys have given up, which is quite disappointing to see. I'm just seeing them kind of...
Fines are coming your way, boys. No, come on, guys. Not really.
You don't want to give it. You shouldn't give it. You should try your heart out in every single series.
Put me in, coach. I'm ready.
Well, looks like some of the other players are still cracking on with it, which is fair play. Nurik's now top mid, finds the kill. Tap mag in hand, so be able to get some good POVs down on some players here. Provided some people poke up, two of them will advance through the treehouse, and yeah, he's going to go one-on-one. Will he get this kill? Wow, okay. That was a thrust crouch straight through the gap.
Sick moves.
Still survive.
Yeah, sick moves, right?
Epic.
There. I mean, I don't think I've seen stuff like that since the old snowboarding games I used to play on my old school consoles. Remember going through the, going up the jumps and then doing like backflips and stuff? Oh,
come on, Arkel.
Come on, man.
Look at it, rough, man.
Poor guy is just chilling here.
And he's still getting done.
It's just rude.
Especially number one in the team, that we have to do that to him. Well, we are 1-0 up, 9 minutes still remaining of this game. One shot will go down, finds it still wandering around with this tap mag in play. And it's good to see them using these tap mags. Oh, nice shot as well. Perfect kill comes in. They'll all now be spawning by the silo plus they're all dead.
You do me your best tac mag impression. What's that? That's terrible. Have you heard it was applied before? It's like ting, 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 ting.
It's not.
Yeah, it's a ting.
No, it's not. It's
what about it? Who's got one? Chick's got one.
Is it, are we doing this? Go on, listen.
Our flag's back at base.
It's definitely not a ting.
It's a ting.
Anyway, let's get back to this one. So they are now all tied up, one apiece, Harry. So we have got a game. We kind of said this could be the Kraken infused armor. Even yesterday when we spoke to Snakey, he did mention they'd actually dropped this game to infuse, and they were having a couple of little difficulties and struggles on it. Why do you think that it is, in retrospect of it being Fathom CTF, why does this give, in particular, Infuse some issues?
It's interesting because when this man was on the Fabi squad, this was also one of their worst game types. We saw in the past the old Fabi squad really struggling on Fathom Capture the Flag. In particular, they cited keeping track of spawners and trying to predict spawns as being one of the reasons that they really struggled with this game type in particular. Speed, just give it a bit of a shake of the head right there to Respectful, but it is one of those game types where you have to keep track of every single spawner, otherwise, you know, they're going to give so much room to overextend. When you see that silo spawn over there, you have so much cover if you just sprint to the enemy base, so it's very important. You almost have a player willing to rotate back through your own courtyard and making sure they're cutting off the overextenders, but that's so much more difficult than it suggests because you basically need all 4 of your players flooding forward to slay, because it is so easy to also stay alive on this game type. But this is much better here from 2D. They've got a camouflage in their possession, and although it is Nurix with the camo, he's forced to run the fight because he's last alive, and he really should go down right here, which he will.
I think the only issue there was potential, for me, he could have held that and not actually given away the position of the flag, and then maybe, you know, made your way up the top mid. The fact that he actually threw it forward and dropped it kind of caused him a few more problems because Snakey knew exactly where he is. However, they've still got it on the move. They will throw that out into the open, so at least they've got some kind of room to bait a couple of flags out. But unfortunately, when you've got Quad, look at this, Eagle Eye. Oh, misses a few.
Unfortunate he threw that grenade right there because that allowed the shields to regen, and little did he know that player was no shields, and that's actually going to give up the flag capture, honestly. And you can see how disappointed he is. He did all the right things. He got to top middle right there. He got the height advantage. His team had the 2 slays, but somehow Infused, they still dropped that flag capture. That's very curious. I like the idea to go top middle from Quad, but the nade really thrown at the wrong time. Maybe didn't have all the information available to him at that time. And as a result, it's going to be 2D actually up in this game 2-1.
I love the play though from Snakey right behind. Unfortunately, it's Chick who may be the saviour. Yes, it is indeed, and get the return. Snakey's not there. Snakey's actually dead. Now, he did push through the base to go into the gen and just try and get the spawners off of the van. Unfortunately, they did not expect that one player top mid who, if he would not have been there, that would have been game and set. Unfortunately, it's a little bit unfortunate.
Very unfortunate, and 2D actually surprisingly up in this game. They've been doing very well, as we said before, sneaking around the back of Infused. Oh my word, if Chick would have pulled that one off, that would have been one for the highlights. But look at this again, teamwork from Snakey and Respectful, running around in 2s. This is what they need more of. They need to push in as a unit, as 3, attack from multiple different angles, and then have a couple of players willing to rotate back and cut off those overextenders. Obviously easier said than done when you're trying to fight into the enemy base, but right now Snaky is doing a great job of staying alive and being a very flanky player. They already have 2. If they take down this gen player, they can start moving this flag, and that's when they need to start looking for these spawners and overextenders right here. 2 in a row from Snaky.
That's brutal. And that's going to be 2-2. So the dream of potentially putting a map on the board and even getting a percentage, well, that's just been all drawn up. Next flag will win.
A lot of people think that Snaky is one of the weakest slayers on the team. When your weakest slayer can do that and wins your team a capture pretty much, that says something about this special lineup that we're seeing right here. I mean, what a play from Snaky.
How things kind of play out here. They are still at least suiciding to try and keep it on the move. Another player grabs it, so they will get it through pit. Now they're on their side of the map, unless they take down Chick, which they do. Somebody needs to get on top of that. It's going to be Snaky again. Can he get the return? Yes, he can. So the dream is still alive. 4 minutes remaining. And now they're all, look at all that, Harry. 1, 2, 3 players just all inside the base, all tanked up pretty hard. Snaky getting chased down. He will fall. And now they can extend. Now they can push out. But unfortunately, Kimbo is on bodyguard duty, and he'll get taken down as well. So now they can try and make something happen. They need to get to the opposing side of the map, and the flag is going to be on the move.
Yeah, 2D here, getting a little bit desperate though. We can see Speed right there trying to pull that flag before they had any slays on the board. If they do that while an infused player is in position to grab their own flag, they're going to be on the losing end of this game. There's no ifs, no buts, no coconuts, as I said the other day, but Respectful did just have the railgun. It's Kimbo with the camouflage though. Respectful did go down, look for another one of his teammates to pick up that power weapon. And if you can get that power weapon on the board, we've seen some devastating clips in the past. And Kimbo here against his compatriot. An interesting fight. Kimbo will win it.
Protect our carrier.
2 players pushing in. See if we can get another pull out here, but it'll be a little bit unfortunate if they do because, well, for Kimbo. Just creeping around. There's one. Flag's running in. 1 more player in the gen. All 3 are all over him, and that is going to be it. Puts it in, back of the net, and away we go. 3-0 will be the current series score.
3-0. 3. That's what the players do these days.
Is that what the cool kids do?
Yeah.
It's in the okay thing that they do, but not that one.
What was that?
What are you doing?
Okay.
Stop it and read the
okay.
scores.
Yeah, we had 22 kills out of Kimbo. And it's been every single player from Infused stepping up in slays this series. We saw Snaky make some really nice plays. Kimbo, most kills in this game. Not the miraculous stats we used to see out of Respectful. He'll be personally very disappointed about how he's finishing off this season stats-wise, but he won't care as long as his team remain undefeated this season, which it looks like they are 1 game away from doing so. On the other side, Chick with just 7 kills, 17 deaths as well. That's a -10 spread. 14 assists though. We'll check out the damage dealt. He actually had most on his team. So, although he only had those 7 kills, he was doing the majority of the damage. It's not his fault, you know, his kills weren't getting cleaned up or he wasn't getting enough help from his team.
Kimbo's KDA though, and his damage done. That's disgusting. It's really scary how any individual player on that roster can go off at any single time. And when all 4 of them, this again, it's the telltale sign of what happens when they get over to DreamHack Atlanta. If all 4 of them go off, I think they could do. I truly think that this team could do some damage in America. I really do.
So. Yeah, he followed the blueprint of Fabi. Remember back when they picked up Jimbo and 2 Foxy, did Respectful and Mose. Those at the time were the 4 best slayers undisputed in Europe. And they did really well overseas. So I'm looking forward, like you said, to see how that kind of blueprint plays out with a different mix of players. Obviously, we still have Respectful in there. But, you know, maybe this is what Europe needs as a squad. Maybe just get your 4 best players on one team and just try and pew their team into oblivion.
The thing is, though, we've seen this before and it didn't work. Do you remember when initially Fabi did kind of form together? And they lose their first round back in the summer or fall season. We had a bit of what we called Europe's God Squad that were put together because there were a few initial changes. 4 strongest player went together, and it didn't turn out.
What was the lineup? Was it? Are you sure? Are you thinking of X-Men?
I am thinking of X-Men. Yes.
Chalky, Snipe Drone, Jimbo, and
exactly.
Rabbit. Yeah,
it just didn't work.
It was the 2 from Epsilon, and it was the 2 from Infused.
Yeah.
They formed together, and people were kind of hailing them as the God Squad. Yeah, I do remember that actually. So yeah, I think this is kind of different though. This isn't two teams trying to, you know, make it into one team and become an amalgamation of a god squad. This is more like 4 of the strongest Slayers forming together and just destroying everyone in their path, as they have done this season in Europe at least.
Chick will check his corner with a ground pound. Gets the initial OS, so that'll be helping him out. First strike medal comes in as well. Now being aggressive, they will bag bottom mid and work their way over to red. Respectful says no, he thrusts out of the way. Does just stay alive, and once again, Speed says no. Speed, stop doing that and get inside the hill. Come on, help your teammates out, man. Get stuck in, camo in hand. Let's see if he can get another kill. He's got a BR and DMR also, so could do some really nasty damage here with this camo. He's in a cracking position as well, up on tower 3. Got eyes on the...
Radar Kid! Backsmacked with camo, that's even worse than getting backsmacked with overshield. Shake your head now, boy, you can't, you're in death screen.
That's a bit strong.
I'm sorry, but I mean, he got backsmacked with camo. How does that even happen?
Well, I suppose it serves him for teabagging other players. Snaky will take control of bottom mid now. They will get that plot. The time will start ticking for Infused. Killing spree comes out for this young man. They got one player. Look at all them red bodies on the screen. And no doubt any... Oh! Close. It was close. There was an attempt.
There was
an attempt.
Valiant attempt as well. 30 seconds until the next wave of power-ups starts spawning. It was Chick to grab the first overshield, and it was Speed actually to grab the first camo. So the 2 power-ups timings will be in the hands of 2D, and it's what they need here on Empire Strongholds, because this is again one of those game types where power-ups can really flip the map and really change it in one team's favor. And with 2D knowing the timing on the power-ups which are coming up very soon, look for them to try and bolster that information alongside some map control as well. Watch for them fighting around this area in particular where Quadios is to try and get some turbine control so they can grab that overshield safely, but at the moment it looks like it's all Infused to grab this overshield. If they take out that extra player in turbine, which it looks like Kimbo and Quad are going to combine to do right there, they'll get actually the overshield and the camouflage with Snaky as well.
Are you, just a question for yourself personally, Harry, the DMRs, we do see them doing some disgusting stuff on maps these days. You a personal fan of the DMR?
I suck with it, so no.
Okay.
Always been a BR man myself, but on Empire, the added range of the DMR can really do some serious damage when you have a triple cap, right? Often you'll see players when they have that triple and they have total control on the map, sit in a home base, sit up in the window with a rifle, whether it be a BR or a DMR, and just inflict that cross-map damage and that cross-map pain on the other team. Almost would like to see Quad, after he gets this double right here, if he does so, do what I just suggested, but it looks like at the moment he's just going to play this very slow and play retake on this instead. In fact, he gets the reset still.
Oh.
That's absolutely crazy. Get the triple. You deserve it. Oh, shame.
Well, your team captain took the kill, so you can't really argue with him. That's going to be Snaky. Triple cap still in effect. Seeker will try and at least bounce out of the way. This one, unfortunately, just walks into the hands of Respectful, happily waiting for the kill. Yes, GG no read for me, that one.
Yeah, total control.
A little bit dangerous.
Some of the best slayers in Europe on a game type that's all about slaying is a heartbreaking situation to be in if you're 2D. I agree with you. I think 2D have maybe 1 or 2 pushes as a team. They really need to group up and find the soft spot, the weak point here for Infused, which it seems like they've done in terms of blue base, but look at the slays coming in again. They can play retake on this all day and just regain that total control, that stranglehold they had on the map and on 2D. This could get very ugly. This could be 100 to single digits, very realistic.
It is quite a small map, you know, in relative to some of the other maps we've got, and I think just kind of touching on what you mentioned about this suits strong slayers, it's so unforgiving coming off the spawn and just getting lit up time and time again, and as you mentioned, when you do get the amount of slayers that you've got on this team, going on a map like this, keep running, he's aware, he's alive.
Run, Forrest, run!
Wow. Okay, well you need to stop sprinting now, Kimbo, because your shield's need. Oh, there you go. Is he gonna? No, I thought we were gonna say no.
Come on now.
He's not as bad Speed. Speed doesn't care.
Speed has no chill.
Zero chill indeed. Snaky's gonna try and push this player off, but there's 2 of them. We'll put one on the floor.
Yes!
Gets
Guess
him.
what? They got
down.
double digits. Good job, 2D. That's the objective. The game's over.
Yeah,
pretty much.
It's real. I feel sorry for him, man. It's rough. What a way to end the season, going up against these guys. We knew what were coming, unfortunately, so I'm not going to give them any stick whatsoever. Respect to both teams. Respect for 2D for turning up and still playing their hearts and souls out. Respect for Infused for not going easy on them, playing the game and doing what go. And of course, that's it. Those two teams are now done. That's the summer season, and their summer season completed for 2017. We got one at the top, and unfortunately we got one down at the bottom. Arkel Brown. Look at them stats.
Yes, Snaky. Okay, all right. 19-3. Not too bad. You pad them stats, boy. I think he's going to be up there in the top 3 now for kill-death ratio potentially throughout the entire season, depending on what happens elsewhere in this broadcast. But check it out. 6-6 out of Sika. He didn't go negative. That's impressive, if anything. Not sure if he was helping out his team enough. Maybe that's a particular reason why they might have lost that game. Thanks to the players for backing out, so we can't read any more of the stat line right there. But that was a whitewash of a series. There's no beating around the bush. Infused just showing their class.
There are certain parts where I have to say, feel a little bit, I don't know, sorry for him, because there were some players by speed that were exceptionally questionable, and some of the things that he was doing when you can clearly see that rest of his team were really trying. So a few questionable players on that one, but nevertheless, awesome Halo regardless coming out of Team Infused. They stand at the top of the mountain.
Can we start finding players for when they back out of the lobby before we can finish reading the stats? Because that's happened so many times this season. I mean, come on, man. We want to look at the numbers.
You want to get quicker at your job. Get better.
I'm trying to get good.
You.
I'm trying to get good. Okay. Just leave me alone.
You sit there and sulk in the corner.
I'm trying.
But let's talk a little bit onwards about this next matchup. Obviously, unfortunately for XL, it's going to be fun going up against Invictus. Invictus really want to show why they are just as good as Team Infused. We do know there is a damn good squad in there. In fact, there's an excellent squad in there. One that I still think does have good chances over in North America.
A lot of people wonder about Invictus actually over in America, because we've seen Ramirez in the past, and it seems like almost every single time we have a squad consisting of Ramirez in there somewhere going over to America, everyone still worries about Ramirez going up against really tough slayers in America. If he doesn't come out with his flanky plays and they don't come off, he is essentially a free kill to the other team.
Bring back TCM Ramirez. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I know what he can do.
Yeah.
And he's good. And he's a damn good player.